in the farmhouse. Adam is advanced animal trainer who trains animals for film, TV and live performances. So his main aim is to inspire people to provide better conditions and show more respect for our planet's amazing creatures, of which we see out there in front of us now, the horses. And you can see the wonderful connections that are made when people and our equine friends work together.
Well, our crowd's starting to slowly build up in the grandstands. They're looking for the lunchtime entertainment. So while you're sitting here, we'll take you on a little bit of a journey. I think that's been well done, Case, to you and your co-commentator here. I think described that pretty well spot on, and what we're looking for and how we actually achieved some of the efforts, and I suppose we could call it efforts, in relation to what the judges asked horse and rider to do.
Well, it just gives the crowd that are non-horsey, I know everyone that's sort of most likely sitting on the left side of a lot of the equestrian people that might have a horse or a friend or a rider in this, but a lot of the people that are sitting in our crowd as such might not understand what our judges are looking for, the difference in the movements from a horse in a trot through to a lengthened trot across the centre of the arena, from perhaps a canter through to even when we were talking about the changes of lead, why we do that, which is to keep our horses balanced, but also some of the differences in the movements that we're asking for. And it's been great with our big screen TV too, to be able to watch our riders working hard in asking those movements, because it's no easy feat. They're not just sitting there. They're actually having to ride those horses to make them do those movements.
Well, aren't they all well, nice and relaxed now? They've had a little bit of a workout. They've been just told to settle down, cool down, come back. And every horse is out here very, very well behaved now. Now, the lineup that you see out here is not the lineup necessarily that will be presented in their winning order. They are just lined up, and our winners will be asked to come forward in a moment or two as soon as we get the tally of points. I got all excited here for a moment thinking that I had them, but I've only got the progress to the final.
It's always a pretty picture, and a very proud riders too. Remember, to make it this far, to actually be in the top 10. That was a big class. I would have, without counting, there would have been at least...
That's the biggest class we've had in saddle so far this show.
There would have been every bit of 30 horses competing for this class, and we've narrowed down to 10. Now, believing me, the horses, as you said, that left the arena were very, very quality animals, and there was a lot of hard work that went into getting them out there. So for those riders that have actually made it through to the top 10, congratulations to you, because that's quite a privilege in itself.
Yeah, well said, Case. I think that probably pretty well sums it up. As I said, I really feel sorry for some of these people who are shown the gate very early, but we know that's part of the showing world. And as I said to Kathy before, whilst we all have to learn how to win and be gracious in victory, we also have to learn to lose. And I think that's something that's instilled in us probably from Pony Club days. Providence Cup, are we ready to fire, are we? By the look of things.
Well, it looks like we have the...
Yes, this is the final.
We have the final. And I'm going to say it without calling it, but I hate to tell you that I think I was right in what I was thinking.
Oh, right, okay.
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
You never know.
Can you publish that for me so we can show all the people later on?
Have I published? I haven't. Sorry, my bad up here. Here we go.
All right.
We're publishing it. So I'm anticipating...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to call the runner-up and then the winner. So just be aware, I'm not too sure whether our exhibitors can hear down there, but it will be the runner-up first and then the winner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our runner-up in the Providence Cup final of 2017 at the Royal Melbourne Show, goes to number 1541, SLM Valentino for Bryony Lee from Whittlesea in Victoria.
Well, congratulations, Bryony. As Kath and I were talking about before, this is the particular horse that we were saying, Mr. Floppy Ears himself. Have a look at those beautiful ears as he walks up into the Avenue of Honour. A very kind horse, one that I'd love to ride across the fields.
And our winner of class number 269S, the Providence Cup final, goes to 891, Warrawee Diaminti from Kernet in Victoria, Elizabeth Krog.
There's another floppy ears. Beautiful. Well, we weren't far away in our results, were we? We both got it. Well done.
So congratulations. Well, I'll cook dinner tonight and you can wash the dishes. That do?
I reckon you're
so
washing.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Well done. It was a great class, worth watching. And to Warrawee Diaminti, a job well done for you. Let's have a look and see what this horse has done. Not so much this year, but yes, we have got a few results here from this year. Won the heavyweight hack over 16 hands up there at Wonthaggi in January this year. Also took out the Show Hunter hack over 16 hands at the Lang Lang AP&H Society. Looks like they've been doing the show circuit down around the Gippsland area. Also at Bunyip in 2017 was a winner. And at Berwick 2016 and back to 2017 took out the Berwick and District A&H Society Show Hunter hack there as well too. So it's been a good 2017 for our winner, and continuing on not only the search of a blue ribbon this time, but to be crowned the champion of our Providence Cup. Congratulations to you. Let's not take away from gonna find your corner, and we'll soon be knocking on your door. Gonna come to your town, gonna find your corner, and we'll soon be knocking on your door.
Well, we can see out here now, our winner is receiving that beautiful garland. Obviously a wonderful little gift bag that's in front of our Avenue of Honour here, which includes a polo vest, a cap and a saddle blanket. Of course, the gift they receive is an inscribed leather, silver and horn hunting cane for the value of $240, as well as an inscribed headstall, an inscribed trophy rug, and you can see that there are plenty of prizes on offer. So thank you very much for Karen Fisher for her support out here, but also as well with Kath Emmett down there doing a wonderful job. Thanks, Kath. And our runner-up also receiving a gift bag, which includes a polo vest, cap and a saddle blanket, as well as an inscribed headstall, also supported by Karen Fisher.
Gee, it's interesting, not that we can tell you, but we have got the combined judges' scores up here from the judges 1, 2 and 3. And there was not much separating. I almost looked at those and thought this horse has won it on a countback, but not so. But there was very little separating them, the winner and the second placed horse, and then a little bit of a gap to the third horse as far as points are concerned. Not that we are presenting ribbons down to third, fourth, fifth and sixth, but we've got our point score for the other horses that have made up this field here today as well too. But let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we leave on a little lap of honour for our Providence Cup winner and runner-up for 2017. Big thank you to all our sponsors as well too. Pride's Easy Feed, Kathy Emmett helping us out down there as well too with our 3 judges. Well, I think it's apt that we bring that young lady into the music world. Simply the best. What a great thrill it is when you turn around, Case, and bring a horse to a show, especially a royal show like here at Melbourne, and you can walk out with that playing behind you. How do you reckon you'd feel?
Well, you'd feel pretty good, wouldn't it? It'd just give you a bit of a buzz. We only play that particular song for our big ones that we have, and that being our Providence Cup winner, I'm sure she would have been awfully proud. Give you a bit of a buzz to ride your horse out for that. So next up we have our class, our I beg your pardon, Pope Cup. Beg your pardon, I'm getting myself confused here. So we bring in our friends from off the track with our Racing Victoria, about to step into the broadcasting box. This time it's for class 184. So we'll very shortly get this particular class underway. So in this circumstance, we bring out 3 new judges. Our judges are Katrina Williams, Samantha Davidson, and Andrea Merry. So Samantha joins us from Racing Victoria, so it's always good to have someone from Racing Victoria joining us. Not unlike the lady that's just sat down sitting next to me. Hello, Lauren. How are you?
Good afternoon. Very good, thank you. Happy to be here again.
Question without notice. That's wonderful. Well done. Okay, so we're going to learn.
I was really going to say, I'm good, thank you, Casey, and I thought, gee, she's got a deep voice for a girl.
No, you can't do that. See, you're on fire today. You're just killing me. I'm going to leave the room for a minute and I'm just going to try and find a workout for this particular event and see what we can bring to our people that are sitting out there.
Now, listen, Blue Eyes, sounds like she's going to trust you and I together here. I'm going to leave the room, just the two of us here now.
Yeah. Is that safe, Casey?
It'll be safe.
Please come back.
Now you've deflated me, Lauren.
Oh,
Please come back. Please come back.
Sorry, Rob.
Looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to some of the horses that we're going to introduce to you. From a thoroughbred point of view, Lauren, looking at a little bit of their breeding for a start, looking at a little bit of probably what they've done or where they've come from, and in relation to this particular event, the Colonel A.V. Pope Cup, presented by Racing Victoria, an off-the-track special. The A.V. Pope Cup and a special ribbon cup presented by Colonel A.V. Pope was for the best saddle exhibit over 15 hands, which in the opinion of the judge showed thoroughbred qualities. The Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria will nominate the 3 judges, of which we've done, and select a top 10 finalists like we've done in the class prior, and the winner will be chosen from that top 10 with a preferential system. Each exhibit will be judged on manners, paces, conformation and soundness and performance, and the ownership of the cup shall not pass to the winning exhibitor, but shall remain the possession of the RASV, and the name of the winning exhibitor each year will be engraved on that cup, and the winner ineligible though for the championship. So the RV Pope Cup has been something that a lot of our hackies and our thoroughbred people have been watching and keeping their fingers crossed for a long time. Of course, Colonel A.V. Pope and his wife lived in Frankston and served in the Indian Army. It was you find this a little bit strange when we're talking about hacks today, but it was a top polo player. So Colonel A.V. Pope has left a legacy with us today, Lauren, and we're about to find out who our competitors are. And I think we might do as we did before. We might, when we get narrowed down to our top 10, we'll share with you the names of the horses and the exhibitors so that you can follow the fortunes of them throughout here today. Well, this is the sad part. These people that are about to leave our arena here at the moment, they've come out, they've worked on the circle, the judges thought, nope, I can actually fit you in my top 10. I think you better go for a little bit of walk and pop back, probably have some lunch with your family maybe, and that's the world of showing. We don't do that on race day, do we?
Definitely not.
Oh, that was nice. I just got a big kiss from Kathy then. Yeah, from the world of racing of these horses now, we put them in the gates and open the gates, and it's one for all and all for one. Whereas here we're going by the eye and the thoughts of one particular person. How'd you enjoy yesterday?
It was a very long day for me. I had the kids here early morning. Thought I'd get them out the way first, but unfortunately we didn't leave here until about 6 o'clock last night. So it was a very long day, but look, the show was fantastic. Our class ran really well, and Stephanie Barrington took out champion lead, so that was wonderful. We'll see her again here today.
We will.
In this
sure
class
we'll
now.
See Steph here. We'll see Steph hopefully on Gary Owen Day
and tomorrow
yeah.
as well, yes. So, no, it's great to see them all here looking amazing again, and you know, it's a big lead up. It's a huge lead up to something like this.
Yeah, well, again, we said before, Lauren, a lot of these horses that we will see out here today will be horses that we will be seeing tomorrow.
and
I'm sure.
and have seen in past days as well.
Sure. Well, the last couple of days have been our days for our hacks and our galloways, so it's sort of gone from show jumping to harness to our horses on the flat, working down towards next Tuesday. And it all comes around very, very quickly. Another couple of days after we change our clocks over, and our show is over for another year. And no doubt that all the team here at the RSV will be starting to plan for show number 2018.
Yes, I'm sure it's like the racing industry. We never sleep, it never stops, and once one thing's over, we keep going on to the next. So,
what's it like being the partner of a jockey?
It's tough. You have your ups and downs, but it's great. We love the industry. Once you're in it, it's something that you live and breathe for, and it can be really rewarding at times. So,
did you have just to explain to you, Lauren's partner as a jockey, in Darren Moore? I don't think you might be mentioning his name up here. He rides for me, and used to be a bugger of a kid in school, but he's mellowed into a nice young man with a family and a lovely wife. And I suppose the highs are the highs, and this is the business end of the season for you guys.
Yeah, well,
on in.
He's actually he's in Singapore today. He's over there for the weekend. He's been able to get a license to ride over there for the next couple of days, which has been great. So it's good for me because I get a nice break. Look, he's been doing quite a lot overseas in the last couple of months. He's been to China for the China Horse Club Cup. He's been to Korea, South Korea, which was amazing. He's very lucky. He's fortunate. His weight is quite light, so he'll walk around about 52 kilos. And he's got some very good contacts, so he's been very fortunate to get these gigs, and he makes the most of them.
Western District, is it?
Not at all. It's good. It gets him out of my hair for a few days, so I can come and enjoy in events like this. So, which is
it's funny, Lauren. I walk into the jockeys' room occasionally because being a tutor at Racing Victoria, not that I'm allowed carte blanche, but every now and then I go in and talk to the youngsters, and we have a little bit of a chat about different things. And you walk down the back near the showers, and jockeys they're scrubbing their singles and they're rubber matting and what have you. And I wonder, at times, do you do any of the washing and scrubbing at home? Probably not.
No, look, I appreciate Daniel because it takes a long time to get out of those jockey rooms after the last race is run. But I appreciate it because he comes home and his gear is immaculate and it's ready to go for the next day. So I'm very fortunate with that.
You've got two young boys?
No, we've got Jack, 7, and Penelope, she's 2.5.
You've got a boy and a girl?
Yep.
Oh, well, it's almost quit now. You've
so
got
it keeps us very busy.
Hey?
I can see Penelope now. She may be out here in a few years to come.
And background for you in the horse world?
Look, I grew up with horses. My auntie was a keen eventer, and so I always had horses growing up. Got out of it when I was in my late teens, and now very lucky to be able to get back into it again and enjoy the passion. It's something that lives with you forever once you're in it.
I had the feeling, we were talking yesterday with Case, I had the feeling that the name Laurie Maggs came to me and I thought he was a jumping jockey. Am I wrong? Or you don't know?
I'm not too sure, but that Mag's name, it's not very common. So, there may be relation down the track.
I'm going to look forward to that. When I say look forward, I'm going to look forward to finding that information because
that would be very interesting.
It was a name that just clung to me straight away. I think, I know this name, I know the surname, but
I know my side of the family, the Mag side, they're very keen horse people. And like I said, we grew up with horses, so. It's good to see. We're not in it now, but it's nice to be on this side of the stage and just enjoy it all.
I'll ask you another question while our horses are just, there's not a lot we can talk about here while the judge is deciding what horses she really likes to go into the final of this. But when I said to you before, this is the business end of the season for you, of course, Spring Carnival, it's when the big money's out there. Tell me, what's it like to live with a jockey who is searching for rides, seeking for rides? All of a sudden the ride will get stolen off him. One of his good mates will probably pinch a ride off him. And it's a hard game. It's a bit of a dog-eat-dog, isn't it?
It's extremely cutthroat. And I think I get more frustrated at the game than he does. He's become really resilient to it. You know, he's been riding for, since he was 17. He's 33 now, so he's been riding for quite some time. So he's used to that, the highs and lows, and the getting thrown off a horse and someone else getting the ride. So, you know, that happens, and it is a tough and competitive game. There are more than 280 jockeys in Victoria, so it's a very tough game. And he just keeps working. Works 6 days a week, 7 days they ride. So, you know, it's a non-stop event for them.
Actually, it's 281 to be exact. Someone's just renewed their license.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did hear that in the office the other day, Casey. Welcome back.
Hello, what have I done? You're speaking about me.
Yes, we're talking about how many jockeys are registered in Victoria, and Lauren said there's 280. I said, well, it's actually 281.
Yes.
Someone's renewed their licence.
Well, yes, you know, I am still a licensed rider, so if anyone would like me to take their lovely-looking thoroughbred out for a gallop, I'm more than happy to do that. But, you know, if I have a look through, which I haven't done as yet, there are horses that have been out here that I have ridden in the past, either in track work or at the races. So it's always wonderful for me to be out here, and even some of their daddies. You know, if there's something out here by, let's say, a written tycoon, or, you know, I used to ride him in work. I know their dads. It makes me feel so old, but, you know, times are, you can't turn the clock back, can you?
You'd be one of our older lady riders now, wouldn't you?
I was just about to refer to that. As far as a jockey's concerned, I'm referred to as one of the senior riders. And of course, with that means that I hold some respect amongst the youngsters.
What's it like being 50 and out there on a horse?
Oh, 50. Come on. Seriously. No, look, it's good to be a senior out there. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Lauren. How old is Dad? Yeah, well, we don't even ask. If I'm 50,
51.
How old are you? But it's wonderful to be out there, to be able to say that I was a jockey for 17 years, and as you say, I'm still a licensed jockey. But nowadays that I'm a mother, I'm probably more inclined to stick to the trialling side of things as opposed to going out and actually racing. I was offered 4 really good rides not that long ago. Only in the last month I was offered 4 race rides, of which I knocked back all 4 rides, and would you believe all 4 of those horses have come out and won since then, at Donald, at Warwick Nabil, and the other day at Ararat. So very disappointing that I wasn't sitting on their backs, but there's more for me to focus on now.
Practice lads when we were in Darwin too, Lauren, because there was a couple up there that you could have ridden. And
yes,
totally,
I was asked.
Different, but I tell you what, they ride a bit differently up there.
I was asked to ride a couple at Darwin, and I had a couple of rides offered to me for the actual Cup as well, which would have been lovely for me to get out there at the Darwin Cup and to chase a few around. But I really enjoy watching our off-the-trackers, because I love to see the transformation that they make from obviously going out the back of the race course, from seeing them parade out the back of the barriers, to what we see out here now, where these horses are all done up to as good as they can be. Their coats are magnificent, their bridles, their gear, their riders, everything about them is just wonderful, and it's great to watch.
Now the workouts, just quickly, I know you've got
I haven't
got
had
it
a look.
in front of me here.
Okay.
Now it looks a little bit more complicated than we saw earlier on for the Pope Cup here now.
Well, this is a different event altogether, and unlike our hunters, we probably don't ask our horses that are our racing horses to gallop. So there is a little bit of a difference in the movement here when we see the lengthening of the strides. When we refer to here with our workout, it's given that it's a controlled hand gallop. So that's a different thing altogether. That means that they like to see the horse lengthen, but not like what we were asking for in the Providence Cup. Not a gallop. We're not after who can go the fastest, who can, you know, it's not a gallop. It's a controlled hand gallop.
Do you know when we're having a joke before about ages, and Lauren just said, oh, how old is Dad? Let me tell you something, Lauren. I saw your husband, now he's been riding, what did you say, 16 years, 17 years?
Yes, about
I
that.
saw your husband win his first race ride at Terang.
Wow.
And that makes me feel old now. I'll give you the drum, because he didn't know even where to come back for the winner's circle to weigh in. I had to sort of say, matey, over here, just over here, come over here, follow me.
Well, lucky he had you.
Well, he was, as I said, he was one of my students at that stage, but I was as pleased as punch for him, or so that day that I think he was for himself. But it was so funny to watch him come back into the mounting yard. But gee, it made me feel old there for a moment. I can remember that first race ride. If you have a look on the wall somewhere, I'm sure that first winner is a Terang. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Thank you. All right.
You'll know more than me.
All right. Well, Case, while you've been out finding out what the workout consists of, we've narrowed this huge field down, and it's now time to get to the business end, whereby we're just going to start to pick out a few of the favoured horses. I nearly said favoured runners. See, the old racing connotation comes out. A few of the favoured horses out here at the moment with our judge.
So bearing in mind that it works the same as the last class that we were watching, if you've just joined us, where we have 3 of our judges to judge. We, of course, have our head judge, who narrows down our top 10 out of these relatively big classes. So we'll get a top 10, and then we'll bring in all 3 judges together. Again, they are Katrina Williams, Samantha Davidson, and Andrea Merry, to judge our beautiful off-the-track horses. Now, I did say throughout today, and I did say it earlier this morning, that there are options out there for people. If you're sitting with us and you didn't hear what I had to say before, and you would like to come involved in the racehorses, of course, there are other areas in which you can do that. Racing Victoria have apprenticeships there, a certificate for our riders to get started. Or if you want to try another option of getting involved with racehorses, there's Melbourne Polytechnic, who offer certificate 2 in stable hand, certificate 3 in track riding courses. So there are ways, Lauren, that if you want to get involved with a thoroughbred, you can, if you want to try and convert yourself from showing into a racing background.
Yeah, there's certainly many options and different avenues in the racing industry. I think the racing industry has the most employees for Australia, which is fantastic, and it's only growing. It's only going to get bigger and better.
Well, Lauren, can I just butt in for a moment there? I think you've undersold yourself there for a moment. I think if you took out the racing industry and just turned around and said the equine world, you would find we would be very close to number 1. You know, by the time you put your feed merchants in and your farriers in, there's an enormous amount of people that gain an income from the equine world. And, of course, supported mainly by the racing industry. But, you know, you've got your pony clubs, you've got your event clubs, you've got your hunt clubs, you've got your hackies, and you've got your show horses as well. So it's really surprising. It's quite frightening to realise how many people depend on the equine world.
Exactly. It's amazing what goes into a race day. You know, it's all the logistics side of things. It's huge. And it's really exciting to see that our horses are so versatile that they can then go on to these sort of classes, you know, in the equestrian world, in the show ring, pleasure riding and all that sort of stuff. So there's so many disciplines out there. So it's great that our horses aren't only doing well on the track, but they're doing well off the track as well. So that's exciting to see. So we're very happy to have this off-the-track program, and yeah, we're really, really excited about all the people that are involved. So
at the minute we are just trying to work out which particular horse is working out, and once we get that number up, we should be able to give you a bit of an insight into our first horse out working currently. So and perhaps we might have some information about them in relation to their racing career, but having a little bit of trouble picking up who this horse is for the minute. So bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, we'll try and find that out. So 360 is Mickey Moto, owned by Sandra McCann. Nominated by Sandra and Joe. So his racing name was Largo Force, this particular horse. He's buying Costa de Largo. Now these horses really do make lovely horses off the track, don't they, the Costas?
Now, girls, you should know who one of the owners is of this horse. You know? Does Lauren watch much television?
Do you watch much TV? This man one of the owners, can really make a lady look lovely when they do hair. He's a hairdresser to the stars. Yes.
Good mate of ours in Joe Bailey, and I think that's Michael Christie on board. So good luck, guys. That's Mickey Moto owned by Joe Bailey and Mrs. Sandra McCann. Again, we're guessing here. We can pick the horse here and we can't pick the rider. Before we could pick the rider and couldn't pick the horse, but I think we're going to be pretty well spot on here. This is BC Equine, Warren Coyle, and Howard Morris's and Bryony Randall's nomination here, Entourage. It was foaled on the 9th of November 2009. And sired by a horse called St. Avril, which is an American sire I know not a lot about. And out of the dam, Paradise Lost. And actually raced under the name of Rolling Paradise. I don't know whether Lauren's got any information there. It's a bit hard to be able to attain a lot of their past performances, because we don't know which ones are going to go through, do we?
We certainly have seen him around the traps before, this pair, this combination, successfully, which has been great.
It's interesting, I mentioned the other day, girls, that there's probably horses out here today that we've sold or seen sold for many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars and haven't virtually come to the dream of the person who's put their hand up to buy them as a racehorse. And now we see them given their second life in this off-the-track series here in the show ring. And I often think if I ever want to come back, would you want to come back as a horse? Like, you know, now you get pampered, you get, you know, a nice box of a night and get fed morning, noon and night, get a nice warm rug in winter, you get brushed and patted and get maked up, put on and all sorts of things.
Well, the operations that are down at Flemington or any race course of a morning, you know, they're absolutely fantastic how our horses are treated. They're washed every day, they're brushed, they sit in the, you know, they just have their strappers fussing over them morning, day in, day out. They swim. A lot of our thoroughbreds are very good at swimming because they're swum just about every day for their training, for their fitness purposes.
10 minute swim's as good as a mile gallop.
Yes, yes. So we're
now, Lauren, can I interrupt you here for a moment?
You can do that.
Now, Lauren's been very clever here to be able to find a little bit about this horse. Now, this probably falls into the category, Lauren, I think, of a horse that really didn't have a lot of success on the racetrack.
No, he's having more success in his retired life, which is great. He only had 6 starts and unfortunately 0 wins. So it just goes to show that it doesn't matter how successful they are on the track. They can go on and just do amazing things after life of racing. So, you know, it's really fantastic to see. And Bryony has done a fantastic job with her horse Entourage. So.
Well, talking of horses that, now I can remember this horse here called Tattinger. This is number 832, J&R Equestrian. And the horse being ridden here by the lovely Jess Stalling. It's a gelding by Clang, who I reckon was trained by Clary Connors. I might be wrong. But Clang, he wasn't he was a good type. We saw him probably race in New South Wales more than we did here in Victoria. Out of the dam. Oh, this rings a bell. Henpecked. So by Clang out of Henpecked and Tattinger. I think if you've managed to find Tattinger in there somewhere, Lauren, in your little diary, I think you'll probably find that he had a reasonably successful life as a racehorse. Did Clang win a golden slipper?
Come again, sorry?
Did Clang win a golden slipper?
I don't know. I don't think so. Did he?
Oh, he was a good galloper. Gee, he was a good
Feeling
galloper.
ready? You want a golden slipper?
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of horses.
I've got a feeling Clary Connors trained him. I reckon this horse won a big
Seed boy,
feature
want a
race.
slipper?
Won a feature race in Sydney, the sire of this horse here. But we refer to this as a 4-legged lottery when we buy them. Another horse by Clang called Clang and Bang. Which is easy to remember. Okay, well, let's have a look at this fellow and see who we've got here. All right, well, we think it's 579, and that will be Catherine Neal's nomination here, SLM Mercedes. Now, this is another horse by the ill-fated sire Zabeel. When I say ill-fated, unfortunately, we've lost Zabeel, but he, of course, was a great sire of stayers. He could also sire sprinters as well, too, but he was probably the champion sire of New Zealand for stayers. Anyone who wanted a horse that could jump and stay, or a Melbourne Cup winner, or a horse that was you wanted to buy for the Cup World, you always normally lent to the sire of Zabeel. Raced under the name of Crosswind, did SLM Mercedes.
Well, one of my favourites, Zabeel's, was good old Might and Power.
Yeah.
He was a brilliant horse and a wonderful stayer.
We showed some highlights of him at Moonee Valley last night, actually, because
Well,
they celebrated 21 years of racing under lights at the Valley last night.
Well, I was going to say this fella that we're looking at here at the moment, it's not unlike Might and Power. So you can really see the Zabeel in him, can't you?
They were always a big, strong horses across the front. You know, they
And I
always
think
had a big head on
sometimes
them.
that was their undoing as to why they didn't make young horses Zabeels. That's why they were always late bloomers, because they were always
Time to
such
mature.
big, strong horses that needed all that time.
Owned by the Potato King, weren't they?
Nick
Might
Moratis.
and Power, Nick Moratis, yep.
Used to ride for Nick, that's why I know him. I rode a lot of horses
Actually,
for Nick
you knew
Moratis
Nick.
over
I
the
see
years.
how good your memory is. You went to Adelaide one day and ran second on a horse over
In
there at
a
Nick's.
listed race, Global Warming was the horse that I ran second on over there. Got beaten by a horse called Augusta Proud that Claire Lindop rode for Leon McDonald. Very disappointing. I was nosed out of a listed race, unfortunately, on a Zabeel. But them's the breaks. Some days we win, some days we lose. And on that day, I rode a letter perfect race, but I still lost.
Well, that'd be a buzz just to even be in a listed race, Missy.
It's always a good fun race. All right, let me see if I can see who this is for us.
I can beat you to the punch here. Well, this horse here is a horse that's been well documented, well recorded, got a great CV as a prolific show winner. Michelle Painter's now the owner of DP Amazing. He's by the Sire Medal of Honour out of the Dam Zabar, and he raced under the name of Chester Pinnerton, which means very little to me. But DP Amazing has been a wonderful show horse for many, many years.
Well, one of the gentlemen that used to ride this particular horse, he's very good at rehoming horses off the track, Dale Plum.
Well, that's hence the name DP.
Exactly, that's why I mentioned his name, because he's been very much involved in this horse. Now Michelle's got him, as you said, but he's been very good, Dale, at bringing through horses off the track, and in which case we're looking at a lovely horse out in front of us at the moment.
I think Dale's got more spies than I've got in the saddling paddock at being able to procure a good thoroughbred.
Oh, once upon, when I'm at the races, it's interesting when I've been out riding a few horses and I can see the showing people standing on the sidelines looking at it, and I keep thinking to myself, no, it's mine, can I take it home? But they're very good spies everywhere. Even to Shay Hanger, those few years ago with Chosen One.
Tony Noonan, yeah.
Tony Noonan, she's got a great relationship there with Tony, and bringing horses in off the track to make them into
Tony
showing
always
horses.
said that was going to be a Gary Owen horse.
He
even
did.
in his
Shay
racing
said
days.
that. Yep.
The biggest problem I have, I'll find one and I'll say, now I'll look it up and find out what form it's got. And the day that I find it is the day that I'll either run a place or win, and then you've got no hope of getting it. Well, our next horse to come and work is about to enter the arena now. DP Amazing leaves on the far side. This is the horse here by the name of Dior, number 1287, nominated by Barrington and McCormick, and will be ridden by Steph Barrington. It is another Zabeel. Now, I'm not too sure here, but I reckon the service fee for Zabeel was somewhere...
Oh, don't even ask me what his service fee would be.
Around the anything from sort of 70 to 100,000 for the service fee alone. So, look, let's forget about what the horse may have done on the racetrack. The service fee alone would turn around and make me run the other way. But as I've said before, I think any horse sale that you go to is a four-legged lottery of what you come home with.
Now, this horse raced under the name of Belugi, which was trained by Amy McDonald, a good friend of mine, who's just moved back from Warrnambool. Now, unfortunately, this horse had no wins, 7 starts, but again, successfully competing out on the show ring.
Yeah, look, they're a good story, aren't they? The failures on the track to come back and just have a look at them here and now. And now they're adorning the walls of people's studies and over the fireplaces and what have you with championship ribbons and et cetera, now, where they thought one day they might be holding up a cup of significance. Now it's a tri-coloured ribbon they're all searching for. By Seville out of Moonlight and raced under the name of Belugi, and as a brown horse side on the 18th of November 2009. So not an old horse by any stretch of the imagination. All right, our next lady to welcome out, she is Rebecca Farrow. Rebecca is aboard Stage Presence. It's owned by Rebecca, and it's by another really, really good sire and former racehorse in Testarossa, out of the dam Rorks, and raced under the name of Persistency. Now, this horse, it hasn't been off the track all that long, this horse here, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, it was foaled back in 2007. But boy, his dad was a good racehorse, wasn't he?
I loved watching his duels with the famous Readout's Choice. Some of that was it the Guineas where they had that amazing duel where Testarossa pretty much had him the entire way up the straight, and then right on the line, Readout's Choice just pinned him, and they made themselves famous, those two.
Isn't it funny? I look at this horse, or I look at that sire when you talk about Testarossa, and the immediate thing you think of is green, red, and white. You get to know the colours pretty well. They're almost the Italian colours of John Capellan.
It was John Capellan, yes. And those colours are still going these days.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
They're not as often as they used to be. So not, as you said, prolific, but they're still going. He's got a great association, John, with one of my friends, with Nikita Berryman, who rides for Jared McLean, etc., etc. Those colours we see out there all the time. So I don't think we're having much luck with this bloke's racing. Here you go, Lauren. Go for it.
Well, this is another one. Only one start for this guy. Trialled quite a few times and unfortunately didn't come into place. But yeah, there's not much to tell with quite a few of these horses that are out today. There's a handful that are superstars on the track, but the majority of them, have come into it. Shown that they're probably a little bit too slow or not made for the track, but they're definitely suitable for other disciplines out of the racing industry.
Lauren, qualifications for horses to be able to enter these off-the-track programs, they either must have trialled or raced, correct?
Yeah, so it was when the off-the-track program began 5 years ago, it was that the horse was to be officially trialled or to have raced. We're trying to, at the moment, broaden that a little bit and go as far as them having a stable return. So, look, there's a lot of these horses that have gone into the stables but have never officially trialled or raced, but they've been prepped for it. You know, they have done barrier trials and all that sort of stuff. It's just not official, and we don't want to, you know, we want to be able to include everybody that is classified and off the track, and I think that does classify them and off the track.
Yeah,
so.
look, I'm glad you're going to look at changing that, because I mean we can get horses that can come in as young horses and even as 2-year-olds and just get either injured or have some problem that's going to prevent them from actually being an actual racehorse in itself, even though they're bred for it, and they just don't get a chance. There's no afterlife for them once that happens.
No,
you come in, and if you've got a stable return, well, okay, at least that gives you that little ace up your sleeve.
Yeah, well, they have been in the stable. They have been, you know, they've been doing their jump outs. They've been doing track work, and you know, they've been prepping to be a racehorse. They just don't make the cut. So they, you know, some of them have been past fit to race. Some of them have not been. So, you know, we don't want to exclude those ones that have tried as well. So yeah, I think opening that up will be fantastic, and it's an incentive for everybody to be able to participate in these events across the state.
Now, talking of famous mums and dads, the name of this horse here is Optimal, ridden by Carissa McLeod and owned by Courtney McLeod. He's a gelding, foaled in 2004. His dad was a horse by the name of Octagonal. His dam was Happen. He raced under the name of Optimal, and he retains that name in the show ring now at the moment. Well, I don't think there is too many with the CV as good as what Octagonal had in his day. There were two horses that I always reckon left their mark. Octagonal was one and Lonhro was another. If you saw a jet black horse out there, you'd say straight away, yeah, here's a Lonhro. And Octagonal has thrown his type here as well too.
Look, in all those years ago when I was once upon a time out here doing showing, etc., and before I even began thinking about a life in the racing industry, the horse that actually changed that for me was Octagonal, because I used to watch him over those big races, and he just threw me into a world of wanting to be a part of the racing, because he was so spectacular in his jet black. And then he threw, of course, one of his highest profile progeny, which was Lonhro.
I'll never forget Lonhro that day here at Flemington with Darren Beeben. I think Darren rode him here. He was about 4 or 5 lengths off him. Got a prat at about the 150. No way known he was going to win. Got him off the canvas like a drunken fighter, and got up to win, and just held the crowd absolutely speechless in his effort on that particular day here at Flemington. Well, let's turn the clock back a little bit here to a good movie. I think it was a good movie, wasn't it? The Da Vinci Code?
It was, and look, that's a fantastic. What we just saw then by the Da Vinci Code out there then is a classic thoroughbred quality of which they just spot things out of anywhere. Now, would you believe out of that entire arena, there's only one patch of grass out there that's of an off colour, and he just spotted it. So thoroughbreds are so clever and agile in everything that they do.
It's got gremlins in it.
The patch obviously does have gremlins.
They do.
But
they can find gremlins anywhere.
Well,
horses.
I mentioned that the other day. A thoroughbred can find a gremlin in anything, and in which case Da Vinci Code just did that then. Not taking away anything from his work. You can see him now. He picked himself up. He collected himself from that little patch, but he just took one look at a different shade in the grass and just thought, what was that? So we're watching a very nice workout from him out here.
Well, remember they say, and I haven't spoken to a horse lately, but they say that horses can't define colour. Now, I don't know whether you've heard that or not.
Well, you told me that.
It's all just black and white to them. So he would have seen that out there as just a different shade on the ground, not so much a colour, but dogs can't define colour.
Well, see, I didn't know that either.
Well, there you are. You're learning things. Stay with
We're
your father.
both learning things today.
Because I always used to think, oh yeah, look, didn't approach that fence, or especially when we used to jump the 6 bars, yeah, the lights would be shining at night and there'd be a bright yellow pole on top, and you'd say, oh, I didn't like the yellow pole. And the old blokes used to come and say, mate, don't use that excuse, they can't see colour.
Mm.
Well, the Da Vinci Code. Now, here's another horse that used to race under the name of Gold Gun. Now, he was by another good sire in Primus, out of Nobility. Now, Primus was no slouch either. So we've got some really, royally bred horses here. Now this is $3.99, I think. We've got a change of horse here. This is owned by Mega Morley. Now the horse's name is Exotic. His sire is Belcom Gambler. The dam is Scent, and it's a mare foaled on the 15th of December 2006. Clint Bilson has had a fair bit to do with this horse as well too.
So we're seeing some wonderful horses, and just looking through our catalogue even here now, when we talk about some of the great sires that we're seeing that are throwing to our horses now, there's Sharkbite. He's been a great sire over the years. You know, we talk of Zabil, we talk about Encosta de Lago. There's some brilliant sires, really strong throwing gentleman horses, our sires, that are coming through and really stamping our off-the-track horses now.
I'm surprising there are so many Zabils that are now in the show ring.
Well, as you said, there's Clang.
Considering what the purchase price of work.
Doomsday.
Now, this is the best named horse out here. We haven't seen it yet, but it'll be coming out at some stage, I think. We picked it up yesterday.
Did it make it through to the top 10?
I can't think. We Prefer Mango was his racing name. His mother was called Banana Smoothie, and his sire was called Dane Shadow. And if you have a look at it, it's all put together, that We Prefer Mango. And I looked at it yesterday and I thought, what the devil is this? And when you break it down, and when you're in the racing industry, the first look at that you get at a horse or a name like that is probably the one you go with. And if you're not too sure, just say it really, really quickly, and no one else is going to know the difference.
Well, we get really good opportunities now to see our off-the-track horses doing so many different things. I know just a couple of weekends ago they had a lot of our off-the-track horses showcased in the show jumping world down at Werribee Park. Mick Price went down there, I think, and rode.
Well, Mick's wife Caroline is a show
is
jumper.
Jumper, yes. We also saw some of our standout jockeys, which was perhaps Michelle Payne, a new rider, Melissa Julius, Nikita Berryman. Our boys, we had Jake Bayliss, Regan Bayliss, Michael D. So we had some really good riders down there. So we're not just seeing our off-the-track as Lauren here in the showing world, but we're seeing them in so many other disciplines. And do you get the privilege to go along and to watch those disciplines as well?
Yes, we do. We actually, again, sponsored this event, the Australian Show Jumping Championships. So we were privileged enough to go down there on the weekend and just really see what the industry is all about and what people take in. So it's really good to be involved in this and to be able to go out there and see all the different disciplines that these horses are doing. The Show Jumping Championships was fantastic. It's such an exciting event, and it was really good to have our jockeys involved. That was a bit of fun. It was a bit of fun to see them all get over those jumps. That a lot of them haven't jumped before, so that was quite funny. But yeah,
see, now that's the thing. I'll probably get the sack after saying it, but that's the thing that you'd run here of a nighttime entertainment. Remember when we used to have the Shetland steeplechase and we used to invite all you guys out here? And the crowd went berserk. And I think sometimes we've got some great events that are just underneath our nose.
Well, let me tell you that with the Shetland steeplechase, it became that popular amongst the jockeys. I think the very first year we put the jockeys out there was myself, Nikita Berryman, Michelle Payne, Chris Simons, Luke Nolan, who at the time was riding Black Caviar, and Tommy Ryan.
And we had, what's his name?
No, Tom Ryan was the first year.
We had, what's the name that fell over here? Oh, goodness. Rides down at Aquanita. In fact, rides our horse at Aquanita.
You're telling the story.
He was one of my students.
Jacob
Rule. And he could sit on.
Yeah, that was the next year.
Oh, was that the next year? He got dumped over the back and got dragged along. And then Chris Simons literally fell off when they stopped.
He fell off, yeah, when they stopped. So let me tell you that it was actually quite a thing that our jockeys at first went, what, ride a Shetland? No, I'm not going to ride a Shetland. And then all of a sudden, we were getting people were asking, they were requesting, they were saying, can we please go to the Royal Melbourne Show and ride a Shetland in the Shetland steeplechase? And we nearly had to pull a name out of a hat with all of our top riders, with our top jockeys, because they all wanted to be a part of it. And I can remember Steve Pateman one of our biggest name jumping jockeys actually
Cracked it.
getting really
Cracked it.
offended
Absolutely cracked it.
because he couldn't ride a Shetland because, well, let's just come out and say it. Steve Pateman's over 6 foot tall. He's at least 6'2". The boy is a big boy in terms of height. You couldn't possibly put Steve Pateman on a Shetland. His feet would have been touching the ground.
Well, why can't we have show jumping like that with our jockeys that were at Werribee Park, hidden at Werribee Park, and here we are, we could be showcasing them in front of thousands of people. I think we better work on that, Lauren, for next year. Is that okay? Okay, we'll work on that.
What a beautiful lineup of horses out there. Isn't that amazing? Just watching these 10 horses out here. They really are a wonderful lineup showcasing what our thoroughbred is, their qualities, their mannerisms, everything about them. And it's just wonderful to see.
I'm just thinking we could have racing.com out here with their cameras. We could have it all around the world. How easy. We'll run Melbourne Show next year, you and I, Lauren, all right?
We'll take over the world.
I'm pretty happy trying to take over my own paddock, actually.
Off the track program, watch this space.
Yes. Oh, that'll be good. Well, I've now got a lot of decisions to make out here. And then, of course, lunchtime, we're going to be, we're a little bit over the advertised time for our entertainment. Well, we won't be far away. Are you going to have a pick this time, are you? Oh, she's sitting quiet this time, okay. Who do you think you would pick out there today as the judge? Yes, Gary, even you can have a pick. All right, okay. Okay.
There's a few black
and you
ones.
can't have a bet
down
either,
there.
just quietly.
They're just so beautifully presented.
We've got a few people sitting down in front of us here who are
Wanting an opinion.
racing devotees or racing tragics, I might say. In fact, I see their little horse they had out here a bit earlier, Beer, Wine and Spirits, which actually I think Beer, Wine and Spirits placed 5th in an event here earlier today, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, he did. And it's just wonderful to see because I think in the last class in the Providence Cup, we asked our people that were sitting in the grandstands we tried to take them through a workout to try to get them to see what our judges were potentially looking for and to see if what they chose themselves was what our judges chose. So it was interesting. I'm hoping that our crowd in this scenario have done exactly the same thing. They've watched our horses work out. They've now had the opportunity to see, and I guess it's like picking your favourite. So I think we're going to say goodbye to Lauren. Thanks, Lauren, for coming up. And she's going to go down to the presentation down
Lauren,
there.
We'll get Casey's new thoroughbred out here in a couple of years.
Yes. Can we get me a nice one?
She's got her eye on one at the moment.
I've got my eye on a horse at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to tell you what that horse is for fear of everybody else might take him from me, but I can tell you...
They can't. He's locked away.
He is locked away. He's a lovely horse. He's a striking type, and we do get the opportunity to see him. And why do I like him, and why do I think he's a great type? Well, he's actually one of the best horses that we've got racing in the land at the moment, a horse by the name of Hartnell. I think he would make an absolute amazing type for a horse out here off the track.
Just waiting for the Sheikh to give me a letter back.
Yes, so...
Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, dear sir.
I'm hoping. Well, I have ridden for him. Do you know that? I have ridden a racehorse for him. I got beaten, would you believe? Damn it, here I am I keep getting beaten. I got pipped before and I got beaten. I ran second again. I always run second for the ones that I want to win. Yeah, so I did get the opportunity to ride for him. I rode in his colours, very proud. Still have the photo on my wall. So
now the Colonel A.V. Pope Cup. Very shortly we will have, I'm sure...
well, I'm quite sure the point system for our Pope Cup would work the same as our Providence Cup. I'm hoping that it is, because for our Providence Cup we saw what we were after was the horse with the lowest score was the horse that actually won. And in that particular scenario, you would have liked to have each one of our judges give you a point score of 1, because if you get a 1 from our judges, then of course means that you are their top pick. So you are hoping that our judges give you a 1, a 1 and a 1. That giving you a point score of 3.
I reckon the horse that I like, we might be seeing in the Gary Owen tomorrow.
I think we're going to be seeing the majority of the horses lined up out here at the moment in the Gary Owen tomorrow. And of course, there's only one winner for our Pope Cup. So who will, it's hard to decipher. When you see such quality animals out there, you just don't know how you narrow them down. It's a tough task, one that I wouldn't like to be appointed.
I'm looking through the top horses that have gone through to the final. And when you look at the horses that have gone through as those top 10, they're all just champions in their own right.
They are.
Every one of them. I'd love to be able to tell you, but I think I'd be forgiven. I think I would be forbidden. Well, Lauren's gone down there to assist in the presentations, and she was saying young Daniel's over in Singapore riding this weekend.
I was only going to tell you that yesterday when you said you thought you would have seen him last night at, of course, at Moonee Valley, but no, he wasn't there. He's over in Singapore at the moment, as a lot of our riders are doing at the moment, travelling off overseas to compete over there.
Is the baht worth much over there now?
I don't know.
What's their...
what's the dollar worth? I don't know.
No, what's their denomination? That's not the right word, is it? What's
Singapore, they're in Dong.
They're a Dong, are they?
No, that's Vietnamese I'm thinking of. Vietnamese are in Dong. It's just a Singapore dollar.
It's a baht, isn't it? What's a baht? Oh, that's Indian.
It's a Singapore dollar. All right, I think we've got, let me just have a quick look. Yes, we do. We've got the results up, so we'll just confirm these. And any minute now, we'll be back to give you the winner.
Oh, and I've got the winner
Pope
too.
Cup.
Oh, I wish we had betting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Colonel Avey Pope Cup for 2017. We are about to announce the runner-up. Runner-up to come forward first. And we welcome forward number 832, Tattinger, J&R Equestrian, the Oaks in New South Wales. And Tattinger, of course, ridden by Jess Stalling. And no doubt we'll be seeing Jess in the Gary Owen tomorrow, I am sure. Just having a look at how the judges have placed these points here. And our winner is a clear winner. Is a clear winner. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner. Number 360, Mickey Moto, Joe Bailey, High Range, New South Wales. Mickey Moto has been a champion, open show hunter, and also has taken rider classes, Brisbane Ekka, champion hack in Queensland and other state shows, just to name a couple. And was also a champion hack in the open hack at New South Wales and Dapto in 2016 in October as well too. Beautiful horse, beautiful animal. He's by in Costa del Lago, out of the mare Zabia, and used to race under the name of Lago Force, owned by Mrs. Sandra McCann and Joe Bailey. And today, capably ridden by Michael Christie. What a gorgeous sight. Beautiful garland of flowers around this fellow, and it really matches his colour too. Well, it'll be a big thank you to all the team at Racing Victoria. Well, we're about to send Mickey Moto and also our runner-up in Tattinger on a little lap of honour in a moment or two. And ladies and gentlemen, while we applaud these two beautiful hacks that we're looking at here at the moment, there's some quality going out the gate as well. Some really good quality of hacks that we've got here at Melbourne this year as well. So disappointingly for their riders and their owners, that they're not in the position that Mickey Moto and Tattinger are in, but Mickey Moto, he is something special, this fellow.
Well, remembering too, which Lauren touched base on, this particular horse, he didn't have too good a career out there as a racing horse, with having 7 starts for 2 wins and 2 placings. He only won a total prize money of $22,000. So as a racing horse, he really wasn't that great, but he still was ticking over. But let's watch him out here. Is off the track. This horse is something spectacular.
Well, I think all the team will be feeling good, Case. And I'm not too sure whether Joe's down here with us, but wherever he is, he might be even at the grand final today. I wouldn't have a clue, but I think he might be a bit of a rugby fan. He'll be over the moon with this win here, and so will Sandra McCann and all the team, and I'm sure all the crew associated with Tattinger would be feeling pretty good as well too. So they feel good, I feel good, hope you feel good, because our entertainment is coming your way very shortly here on the Herald Sun Arena.